Welcome back to another episode of the Kopi Talk podcast with your voice Hakim.
And Akil.
So the idea of the podcast is to deliver wellness and understanding of health-related concepts in a bite-sized format, sometimes over a cup of ice cold Kopi peng from
Kopo.
maybe South Indian also, but let's see about it.
So you might actually remember us from the time where we were at Body Watch, where we had a podcast with Mr. Sufyan.
You see somewhere over here. Okay, so the topic of the day is more about balancing school and sports. So Akil, actually yourself, would you like to give a background about what is it all about, please?
Yeah, I'll kick things off. So basically, I'm 19 years old and I'm currently playing for the LCS U21 team. And so how my football journey actually started is it actually started in primary school, where I played for the school team, and then for 6 years, and then went to secondary school, played for 3 years from Sec 1 to Sec 3.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, and while actually being in secondary school, I was actually able to be a part of the U14
Wow.
FPS national team.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But unfortunately got suspended. Yeah, and then however, unfortunately, in Sec 4, I stopped playing because of my O levels. So I had to focus and make sure that I score well during my O levels.
And dedication right here.
Yep. And in poly, now I actually play for the LCS U21 team, but I said, and yeah, now I've been grinding and doing my best to be the best footballer that I can potentially be.
Best footballer and best student also.
Yeah. So what about you?
Yeah. Okay. So sorry you guys, I'm gonna be telling you a bit more about my life story in the past. So yeah, my name is Hakim. I'm 24 years old this year. So that's a bit older than the average poly student. So I'm gonna tell you more about my past. I used to be from a junior college, which was Meridian JC. Now it doesn't exist anymore, sadly. Yeah. So in 2017, I got into the school. My O-level results were okay, but I couldn't really balance well between my higher art subject and my other subjects. So it was an okay result. Then I used to play football in secondary school also, about 3 years ago. But it's not always good. So yeah, I thought it was a natural continuation to go play for JC also. So that's what I did. And because of that, I ended up retaining in Meridian. So I think it's very well known as a school for retainees. But yeah, that was in the past. So I ended up retaining. I spent 3 years at Meridian. And after the 3 years, I still failed my A levels. Can you believe that? So I have kind of a useless A level set. So I had to decide what to do after that. So I went to finish NS first, and during my NS time, I was thinking about trying private A levels. But if you went to national service, you're not equals. The plans were not to go according to what you want was at that, and I thought it was too difficult to study and be in army at the same time. So moving on to my poly life, I wanted to search for a second chance when I joined NYP, and gladly I was offered that. And I wanted to look for academic redemption as well. So Alhamdulillah, for the past 3 years in Polytechnic, it's been smooth sailing for me. I set out to achieve my own personal academic goals and try to maintain a GPA that will get me to the D list in each semester. And so now I'm in year 3. Alhamdulillah, everything turned out well. And currently I'm an avid gym goer, no longer playing football. I've retired already. And I'm just trying to balance my studies and my FYP right now with the rest of my classmates.
So with all of these, what challenges do you actually face during this journey?
Bro, I've got a lot of challenges at that. But the interesting thing is that at different phases in life, there are different challenges, as you will know also. So in JC, I think my biggest factor or the biggest challenge that I had was time management. So I couldn't find a way to balance between my football and my studies, and that really affected me thoroughly. And also a lack of motivation stemming from the fact that I didn't have any discipline to study. You know, some people tell you that if you don't have, they say no motivation to study, JC to study. Yeah. Actually, not motivation that's the driving factor, it's the discipline. So when you have discipline, right, you make sure to study whether you have motivation or not. That's what I did. And also, I felt that the company I was surrounded with was a bit unhealthy. In the sense that not that are bad people or anything, it's just that they were like pushing the idea that it's okay not to study. So especially when I was playing football, most of my friends would be like, it's okay lah, during season you don't need to study. After that you can pick up again. But what happens is that when I don't study during season, I bring so badly that I snowball all the way throughout the rest of the year. So it's too much for me to pick up by then already. Yeah. So when I reached poly, I promised myself not to make the same mistakes as junior college because it's really, I wanted to redeem myself. I wanted a redemption out for myself. And in poly also there are different challenges. I feel because in poly I was trying to gear myself to do well. So there are separate challenges that come with that. And in the School of Business itself, as we have, there are a lot of projects. It's always back to back to back. Alright. Even though we have no exams, so yeah. So even in group projects, sometimes the workload is not evenly distributed. Especially if you want to do well, right? Sometimes you need to put like your foot forward and try to do more than others. So I feel that was a challenge for me to overcome also. And also the weight of expectations, because I came in setting very high expectations for myself. So sometimes as you progress, you'll feel it lah. I really felt it on my shoulders. Really felt me trying to meet my own expectations and trying not to disappoint myself or my loved ones again lah. So that is the challenges that it's. Yeah. How about you, Akil? As a semi-pro footballer, U14 FAS, I'm sure you got a lot of challenges as well.
Yeah, I actually have quite a bit. So basically, now with my current situation, I train at least 5 to 6 times a week. Sometimes maybe not have a rest day because I want to hit the gym at least once or twice. And yeah, it can be very exhausting because school also starts very early. Now that we're in this DB program, we start from 9 and end at like about 5:30 to 6 depending. And even worse, our upcoming stopover, we're gonna have events, so it might take even worse over to.
Really looking forward to.
Yeah, but it should be fun.
Should be fun.
Yeah. So there actually won't be much time for me to complete my work at home. So
yeah. But you seem to be doing okay, even though you have a lot of challenges, I feel, for the past few years. How do you think you have adapted using your own personal solutions?
So I have a few solutions that I actually try and use frequently on a week-to-week basis. So now that we have like projects to do, for example, make slides and give some presentation, I complete the work in school. So by me completing my work in school, I'll be able to sleep earlier because that means my night will be free. So usually I'll come home at about like 9 or 10, and then the rest of the night I'll just relax and sleep. And also with having earlier sleep or more sleep rather, I'll be fresher in the morning. So then I can pay attention in school and do all my work. And yeah, I'll find time instead of saying that there's no time, because I feel there is no such thing as no time.
Yeah.
You need to just find the time for yourself. Create vlogs.
I think you block it out.
And everything. So how I do this is I actually create plans and also timetables for myself. And yeah, with our lovely manager, who also helps.
Shout out to
who also plans a calendar for us. So I think that really plays a role in how I actually solve these kind of challenges.
What about you? So for me, I have a few personal solutions, and then I'll take it again, always going back to my old days. So I feel that most important is really there about mindset shift. So you need to think about studies as something that is a challenge rather than a chore. Especially if you're doing sports, right? I think that's something that'll be beneficial. Because when you do sports, we do it with passion. We dive into it. We like the challenge that comes. But for studies, sometimes we will be like, yeah, lazy study lah. Like, there's too much work to do. So don't see it as a chore. See it as a challenge that you want to overcome. And then your competitive athlete mindset, right, will try to tune in on it also. And then for poly, what I felt really helped me when I first came here, right, I created a timetable for myself, and I really charted out what I wanted to do each week, each month, every single day. So I felt organization at the start was important in helping me settle down closely, and it's also helping me to get a foot in all of my subjects, all of my modules. And then I also try to make my own notes in advance. So I feel that when I make my own notes, right, is I'm trying to analyze what is being taught, and then I can learn more about what is being delivered to me and understand it in my own terms before I go for the lesson. So that way I got like a double understanding of what's going on. And then over time I learned, right, that this method really not that sustainable. But I think what I can categorize this early part, right, is consider studying hard. It means you try your best to study, you come up with all these strategies. But I think what really works, right, is studying smart. So studying smart, right, means maybe if you don't go in the same amount of effort, but you do it in such an efficient way, right, that it pans out well in the end also. So what I figured out is that when you pay attention in class, right, you really get to get best mastery of the module. So I will make notes in class as my lecturers talk to you. For example, for one module, sports administration with Mr. Five. Shout out Mr. Five from Legends. So Mr. Five, right, in every single class, right, he will always talk thoroughly about the subject. So it's like a lecture I'm watching. Then immediately I'll whip out my laptop, Microsoft Word on. You can ask any of my classmates. All you can hear is the typing sound on my keyboard. So when I'm doing that, right, I feel like internalizing the information that is telling me at the same time, and I'm paying attention also, which helps. So I feel that this deepens the knowledge of my module. And yeah, and then you also need to know what works for yourself in terms of your own study style and in terms of the subject. Like for example, mathematics subjects, right, financial, accounting, these kind of things, it's more practice based. You need to practice and practice to know how to do it, so that you internalize it. And you need to know your own study style. For example, for me, I'm an auditory learner, so I feel like when I listen to things around here, I can pick it up well, then I internalize. So that's why my strategy of typing in class works, because when I do that, right, I listen to you, I type down, it's locked in my head. After that, I carry over to my ICAs and things like that. So yeah, you need to find out your own study style and what works for you with each subject. Then one thing I also learned throughout my 3 years in poly that I'm so thankful for, right, is that when you teach others, you also teach yourself. So the more you are able to understand concepts and tell people about the concepts, the more you're able to internalize it for yourself and you can apply it for your own projects. So don't be afraid of reaching out to people, either seek help or to give help also. So I don't know, some people say the more you give, the more you receive, right? I feel that's something that is really, that works for me that I throughout this 3 years in poly. Yeah.
Okay, enough of it. Now let's get to the research stuff.
Let's get down to the real facts.
Yeah.
Am I kicking off?
Yeah, you kick it off.
Okay. So now we're gonna tell you the cold hard facts, not just our personal experiences. So at least there's something more reliable.
Yeah.
So based on a 2015 study by Marquette and Sales, they titled Time Management in Elite Sports. Athletes actually make use of 2 different kinds of strategies. First would be the intensive use of time. Means that you need to fragment your time in a day into different blocks, and then you have to split either sports and academics and things that are out of training. So you need to make sure that throughout the day, your time is very intensive. So it's very purposeful and it's well used. There's nothing that goes to waste. So that's what they mean by intensive use of time. And also, the second strategy that they use is called anticipation. So athletes will plan their timetables to have a juxtaposition in terms of their time frame. So what juxtaposition means, right? According to Google, I Google means there's a contrast in between 2 things. For example, if there's black and white here, like directly there's a contrast. So how this will apply is that if you're doing maybe sports, you're doing your training from 7 to 9 p.m. playing football. Then from 5 to 7 p.m. try to do something that opposes that, like maybe studies or maybe relaxation with your friends. So something that directly opposes. Don't put like football and then gym right before. Right. So you got a balance in between. So they say by doing this, right, you have to improve your performance and your well-being also, which I think is logical. For example, if I'm doing gym and football back to back like that, it's like I'm going to be tired, right? So but I do something that relates to my stress, relates to my mind, then I go for football training. I think it will be something that's more beneficial. So you've heard about the facts based on some studies, but what about what is being circulated online? Is there anything that's helpful?
Yeah, you know what? I've actually found a few from a few websites. So basically, I've really been starting to do these few things. So firstly is to organize tasks. So organizing tasks is really important. So it allows you to see what you like have to do each day and each part of the day, should I say? Like timing block, kind of. Yeah. And also managing time and prioritizing what is most important. So for example, if I have something due the next day, then I'll have to do that first before doing something that's due at the end of the week. And yeah, planning over the weekend, also very important, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
That's right. That's the word of the day, right, dude?
So while planning over the weekend, you can use your weekends wisely, because I'm pretty sure you have 24 hours in a day, and if you sleep for 8 hours, you're left with about 16 hours. Sorry for the maths. Yeah. And you can use those 16 hours wisely, eat, do work, rest, all that stuff. And lastly, use time at school productively, like what I try to implement. So every time I have free time, I'll try immediately do my work, so that at home I have lesser work to do, and then I can have good rest. So Hakim,
Yes, sir. You got any wise words to tell the audience? I wouldn't say wise, what? Maybe just some words from a man who has had experience in a pot. Okay, so first and foremost, you need to try to experiment with what works for you. So try to understand what kind of learner you are, whether you're a visual learner or auditory learner, and experiment as you study with what are some of the things that will work for yourself and for the subjects that you're taking. So you need to understand yourself and understand your subjects as well. The most important, the biggest tip I can give is to start. You need to start studying and start working so that you know what works. Don't hide behind the excuse of not having time to study or not having time to do work because of sports. Because, as you see this man is so busy, but yet he's been doing pretty well in school, right?
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, Alhamdulillah. And you say good progress or what, you know? So that's it for our segment of Kopi Talk. Hope you guys enjoyed it. The first episode with Akif and Akil. So now we'll be moving on to our little mini show at the end of our talks, where we'll be having our teacher Miss Talk telling more about health and wellness. Woo! Woo!